when Zayn left the band, like, where were you when you heard about that?
About to jump off a cliff.
No, seriously, where were you? I mean, did he call you?
Yeah, I was in Miami. I kind of knew this was coming, if I was being honest with you.
Could a tragedy finally break the man known for his unflinching opinions and unfiltered honesty? Simon Cowell, a figure who has always been in control, now faces devastating news for Simon Cowell's family, and the shocking details will leave you stunned. Let's get into it. The devastating news for Simon Cowell's family came with the sudden death of Liam Payne, a former member of One Direction, who tragically fell from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires in October 2024. Simon, who had been a mentor to Liam and had developed a close relationship with him, expressed deep sorrow over the loss, describing it as heartbreaking. This tragedy added to the emotional challenges Simon had already faced, including the loss of his mother and his own near-fatal accident. Simon Philip Cowell, born on the 7th of October, 1959, is a prominent English television personality, entrepreneur, and record executive. He is best known for being a judge on several high-profile talent competition shows. These include the British programs Pop Idol, 2001 to 2003, The X Factor UK, 2004 to 2010, 2014 to 2018, and Britain's Got Talent, 2007 to present, as well as the American shows American Idol, 2002 to 2010, The X Factor US, 2011 to 2013, and America's Got Talent, 2016 to present. In 2005, Cowell founded the British entertainment company Syco Entertainment. Earlier, in 2002, he established Syco Music, later known as S Records, the predecessor to the current Syco brand. Cowell's rise to fame began after some success as a record producer, talent agent, and consultant in the UK music industry during the 1980s and 1990s. However, in 2001, he gained widespread public recognition as a judge on Pop Idol, a show he and creator Simon Fuller pitched to ITV Controller of Entertainment, Claudia Rosenkrantz. Cowell's influence in the television industry grew with the creation of The X Factor in 2004 and Got Talent in 2006. Both franchises achieved global success and have been adapted into numerous international versions. Simon Cowell is widely recognized for his straightforward and often controversial comments as a judge on various television music and talent shows. His blunt style includes both praise and harsh criticisms, insults, and wisecracks, especially when commenting on contestants' singing abilities. His candidness has made him a polarizing figure in the entertainment world, with some viewers admiring his honesty and others criticizing his cutting remarks. Despite the criticism, Cowell's ability to speak his mind without hesitation has been a defining feature of his career and has played a major role in shaping his public persona. Beyond his role as a judge, Simon Cowell has built a formidable career as a television and music industry mogul, effectively blending the two fields. In the music industry, Cowell has produced and promoted numerous successful singles and albums for artists signed to his record label, Syco Music. His keen eye for talent and his knack for nurturing artists have led to the success of various musicians across multiple genres. Cowell's roster of signed artists is impressive and includes some of the biggest names in contemporary music. Among his most successful acts are groups like Little Mix, who won The X Factor in 2011 and became one of the most successful girl groups in the world. He has also worked closely with artists like James Arthur, who won The X Factor in 2012, and Labyrinth, who has gained fame for his genre-defying music. Leona Lewis, another of Cowell's signees, achieved international stardom after winning The X Factor in 2006 with her iconic hit, Bleeding Love. Cowell's impact extends to other popular artists such as Fifth Harmony, Ollie Murs, Noah Cyrus, Fleur East, Ella Henderson, and Susan Boyle, all of whom have had significant commercial success, partly due to his guidance and support. In addition to working with solo artists, Simon Cowell has also been responsible for the success of several successful boy bands. One Direction, arguably the most famous boy band of the 21st century, was launched under his guidance, rising to superstardom after competing on The X Factor in 2010. Cowell also played a pivotal role in shaping the careers of bands like Westlife, Pretty Much, and CNCO, further cementing his reputation as one of the most influential figures in the music and television industries. Cowell has helped shape the careers of some of the most well-known musical acts of the past 2 decades through his work as a judge, producer, and record executive. His influence extends beyond just his television appearances, as he continues to be a key figure in developing new talent and the success of major music acts worldwide. A well-known TV host, Simon Cowell, had always made it clear that he wasn't interested in starting a family. However, he surprised everyone last year when news broke that he was expecting a child with Lauren Silverman, his best friend's wife, and Andrew Silverman. This news was a shock, as it involved Simon falling in love not just with anyone, but with his best friend's spouse. Many would find this situation difficult to navigate, and Simon certainly found himself at the center of controversy. While the media buzzed about the scandal, Simon couldn't help but share his excitement about his upcoming baby, Eric, on social media. He posted joyful updates, seemingly unaffected by his longtime friend's betrayal. But, as life often goes, tragedy struck just when things seemed to settle. Eric was born, and soon after, Simon faced another personal setback that would leave a lasting impact on his family. Eric's arrival marked a significant moment in Simon's life, transforming him in ways many never expected. Simon, known for his quick wit, harsh critiques, and relentless work ethic, had built a reputation as one of the toughest figures in the entertainment industry. Despite his success, fatherhood was never part of his plan. For years, Simon had been open about his decision to remain child-free, even stating on his reality show that having a child would interfere with his lifestyle and career ambitions. The news that Lauren Silverman, Simon's best friend's wife, was pregnant with his child changed everything for Simon. Simon and the public were surprised, as Lauren was still married to Andrew Silverman, Simon's longtime friend. The situation quickly escalated, with Andrew accusing Simon of adultery. Despite never planning to become a father, Simon soon adapted to parenthood. He embraced the news of his upcoming son, Eric, with a surprising sense of acceptance. When Eric was born, Simon's life took an unexpected turn. On the day of his son's birth, Simon was in the middle of an audition for Britain's Got Talent. Still, he immediately rushed across the Atlantic to be with Lauren. Watching his son come into the world was an emotional experience that Simon later described as deeply moving. Holding little Eric for the first time brought up powerful memories of his late father, Philip Cowell, who had passed away from a heart attack in 1999. The arrival of his son brought a flood of emotions, reconnecting Simon with his late father's memory and intensifying the emotional weight of the moment. For Simon, the birth of Eric wasn't just an emotional experience, it marked a shift in his outlook on life. Before Eric came into the picture, Simon was known for being a workaholic and a heavy smoker, driven by his career at all costs. However, the birth of his son gave him a renewed sense of purpose, offering him a reason to step away from his demanding schedule. Eric's presence brought out a softer, more compassionate side of Simon. This side had never been seen by the public before. The birth of Eric had an even deeper impact on Simon than just changing his professional life. It also brought about a transformation in his personal life and mental health. Simon found that the emotional bond he formed with his son made him rethink the importance of family and well-being. Simple activities like reading bedtime stories and spending quality time with Eric became highlights of his day. These small, joyful moments gave him a sense of fulfillment and purpose that his demanding career had never been able to offer. The arrival of Eric was more than just the start of a new chapter in Simon's life. It marked a significant turning point. Simon shifted from being a work-obsessed bachelor to a loving and dedicated father, reconnecting with the core values of family and love. This change also played a crucial role in helping him address his own health struggles. Before Eric's birth, Simon had been silently battling a mental health breakdown, one that the public never knew about. At one point, he reached a breaking point, overwhelmed by his emotional pain. As Simon worked through his grief, he began to see how his son could play a part in his healing. Overcoming grief, finding new purpose, and tackling depression are deeply personal journeys. For Simon, they were filled with immense challenges and transformation. The birth of Eric was a turning point in Simon's recovery, especially in helping him cope with the loss of his mother. Eric's arrival in Simon's life helped him through one of the most difficult periods he had ever faced, following the death of his mother. Simon lost his mother, Julie Brett, who had been his emotional anchor and the only parent to raise him after his father passed away in 1994. Julie was the foundation of Simon's life, providing unwavering support throughout his childhood and adulthood. Her death left a huge void in Simon's heart, and he struggled to cope with the overwhelming grief. He felt lost and without direction, unsure of how to move forward without her by his side. To fill the emptiness left by her passing, Simon threw himself even more deeply into his work. He became a workaholic, using his career as a way to avoid the pain of his loss. In interviews, Simon described that time as one of profound unhappiness. His work became both a refuge and a distraction, a way for him to bury the sadness he still carried from his mother's death. His work schedule became grueling. Simon often worked throughout the night, only managing to sleep in the early morning and afternoon hours. He compared his existence to that of a vampire, going through motions without any true purpose, all in an attempt to suppress his feelings under a pile of tasks. However, this coping strategy only provided temporary relief and failed to address the deeper sadness Simon was feeling. Despite achieving immense success and fame, Simon felt lonely and emotionally drained. His career, once a source of pride and joy, had lost its appeal. It became a painful reminder of the emptiness he was feeling inside. Everything changed when Eric was born. At first, Simon was unsure about becoming a father. Raising a child felt daunting, and he was nervous about the responsibility. However, when Eric was born, Simon found a new sense of purpose and energy. Suddenly, Simon had something to look forward to every day. His son gave him a reason to get up in the morning and face the challenges of life, especially after years of struggling with grief. In a candid interview, Simon said that Eric saved his life. He shared how simple activities like feeding Eric, reading him bedtime stories, and playing together brought an unexpected sense of joy and healing to his grieving heart. Without realizing it, Eric's innocence and joy were a healing balm for Simon's pain. Watching his son grow and discover the world for the first time reminded Simon of the beauty of life's little moments. Hearing Eric laugh each day reminded Simon constantly of what it meant to truly live. Although Simon hadn't fully processed the loss of his mother, Eric's presence in his life gave him a fresh perspective. As a father, Simon now had to be fully present, engaging in every aspect of his son's life, from diaper changes to bedtime routines. This responsibility slowly helped Simon heal from his depression, as he found himself focused on being the best father he could be. Eric wasn't just a distraction from Simon's grief. He became a symbol of hope, a reminder of the natural cycle of life. Even though Simon would always feel the ache of losing his mother, Eric's birth showed him how important it was to appreciate and nurture the relationships he still had. Through his son, Simon rediscovered the joy of living. Eric helped him reconnect with the world in a way he hadn't experienced in years. He learned to balance the sadness of loss with the love and happiness Eric brought into his life. As Simon became more involved in his son's life, he found healthier ways to process his emotions. Instead of burying his feelings under a mountain of work, he started focusing on activities that nurtured his soul and body. Simon began prioritizing his health, not just for himself, but for Eric. Becoming a father meant he had to be at his best, and this realization sparked a desire to make significant changes in his life. He sought help, dedicated time to self-care, and adopted a more balanced lifestyle. Through these efforts, Simon learned that while grief might never fully disappear, it becomes easier to manage when it is balanced with love and purpose. Eric's love helped Simon heal, not by erasing his grief, but by giving him the strength to face it and find joy in life again. The grief that once seemed overwhelming became a part of Simon's story, but it no longer controlled him. Instead, it became just one chapter in a larger narrative filled with love and hope. Emotionally, Simon was making progress, but life had another unexpected challenge in store for him. Tragically, tragedy struck again. This part of the story will likely bring tears to your eyes. Keep watching to learn about Simon's near-death experience. In 2020, Simon Cowell faced a life-changing event that forced him to rethink his priorities. Known for his unwavering dedication to his career and relentless work ethic, Simon had long been regarded as a powerhouse in the business world. However, a terrifying accident that year shifted his perspective completely. It made him realize how fragile life is and how important it is to cherish the people who matter most. The near-death experience occurred when Simon was riding his electric bike at home. In a split second, he lost control and fell, breaking his back in the process. The injury was severe, and it almost left him paralyzed. The pain was intense, and he had to undergo extensive physical therapy and make significant lifestyle changes to heal. The accident sent shockwaves through Simon's life. It affected everyone close to him, including his partner Lauren Silverman and their young son Eric. It was a harsh reminder of how quickly everything can change, leaving Simon and his family to face a future filled with fear and uncertainty. Throughout Simon's difficult recovery, Lauren Silverman proved to be an unshakable source of support. She stood by him through all the ups and downs, offering emotional strength and encouragement as Simon faced months of rehabilitation. This challenging experience tested the strength of their relationship and deepened their understanding of true partnership and commitment. Lauren's dedication to Simon's recovery highlighted how solid their bond is, showing that love can endure even the toughest trials. She never left his side, offering unwavering support as Simon faced both the physical and mental challenges of his healing journey. A problem shared is a problem halved. Lauren's steadfast presence truly exemplified this, as she helped carry Simon through one of the most difficult periods of his life. The accident pushed Simon's physical limits and prompted him to reflect deeply on his life. For years, Simon had lived in the fast lane, prioritizing work above nearly everything else. His relentless ambition drove him to spend countless hours focusing on his career, often neglecting his personal life and family. However, the accident served as a wake-up call. As he lay in the hospital, Simon realized that his priorities needed to shift. It became clear to him that no amount of fame or success could compare to the joy of being present for his son, Eric, or the importance of nurturing his relationship with Lauren. The near-death experience made Simon confront how fragile life can be, and the realization hit him hard. He was terrified when he understood how narrowly he had escaped a far worse outcome. Devastating news. For Simon Cowell's family is here, as though the tragic loss of his mother and a life-threatening accident weren't enough. Simon Cowell and his family faced even more heartbreak. A few years after recovering from the accident that nearly claimed his life, Simon received some devastating news that left him grief-stricken. In October of 2024, one of his dear mentees, Liam Payne, passed away. Liam, a former member of the hugely successful boy band One Direction, tragically fell from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires. His sudden death shocked the entertainment and music industries. Fans, friends, and family alike had to grapple with the unexpected loss of someone so young. Simon, who had been instrumental in creating One Direction and played a key role in the band's success, was particularly close to all of its members, including Liam. When Simon heard the news, he was overwhelmed with emotion. He shared his sorrow, telling Liam's loved ones, "I am devastated by your death." Simon first met Liam back in 2010 on the set of The X Factor, where Liam, along with Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson, and Zayn Malik, had initially auditioned as solo artists. Simon saw potential in all the boys, but believed they would be stronger as a group. Then, Simon decided to bring them together as One Direction, a move that would forever change their lives and the music industry, creating a cultural phenomenon. From then on, Simon became their mentor, guiding them as they evolved from hopeful teenagers into global superstars. Liam's tragic passing hit Simon deeply, stirring up painful memories of his own experiences with loss. It was one of the most heartbreaking moments of Simon's life, highlighting the painful truth that no matter how much success one achieves, losing someone close remains one of the hardest things to bear. Simon witnessed firsthand the profound impact of Liam's death on his family, friends, and former bandmates. One Direction members shared an unbreakable bond forged through their rise to fame and the intensity of their collective journey. Simon understood that Liam's passing would leave a lasting mark on each of them and the broader One Direction family. Liam's death not only affected those who knew him personally, it also deeply impacted the millions of fans who had supported him throughout his career and who had always hoped for his happiness. As Simon mourned, he reflected on how Liam had touched his life in such a short yet meaningful time. Liam had used his fame to entertain and advocate for important causes, always striving to make a difference. His untimely death felt like a sudden and senseless end to a journey that seemed far from over. Simon, along with many of his industry colleagues, expressed their sorrow, sharing fond memories of Liam. In his public tribute, Simon spoke not only of Liam as a gifted artist, but also as someone who had made a genuine impact on the lives of those around him. He was not just a star, but a person whose kindness and warmth had touched many, including Simon and his family. Simon Cowell's journey through personal loss, near-death experiences, and the unwavering support of those closest to him has been nothing short of extraordinary. His story reminds us that even the strongest are not immune to hardship. Still, with love and perseverance, recovery is possible. If you found Simon's story inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt stories. Click the next video on your screen to continue watching.